a game like this, you have to be brave.
I love it. I like it, yeah.
The champions of Europe against the champions of our land. What a hit! Liverpool off to a flyer! Liverpool are pulling away! Hold on! Who catches Liverpool now?
So Liverpool's 3-1 victory over Manchester City means they have a commanding lead in the Premier League. 8 points now above Leicester and Chelsea in second and third, and 9 points clear of the champions, Man City. Delighted to say that I've got Tim Sherwood here alongside me to look back at that game. And as it is a quiet week, international break, you can get involved as well. Any questions you might have for myself or Tim, do so. Get in touch on Twitter. Use the hashtag #TheAnalysisShow. Tim, we saw a brilliant game at the weekend. We've just seen the Premier League table. Liverpool 8 points clear and 9 points above Man City. Is it done and dusted?
It's not done and dusted, but it's a huge lead for Liverpool. I think the only team they'll be looking over their shoulder at, as well as Chelsea and Leicester are doing, is Man City. I think they're the only team, in my opinion, who are capable of going 10, 15 games without getting beat. Liverpool have rode their luck over last couple of months. You know, one that springs to mind, the Leicester game at home. They've got over the line. They find in a way. That's what champions do. It's not pretty at times. They can be fantastic, obviously, with the front three, what they got, the firepower they possess. I don't think it's done yet, but it's theirs, obviously, to throw away now.
Yeah, 10 points clear December the 29th last year, and City caught them. So, like you say, not done and dusted. Does it bring more teams into the title race? Is it simply a two-horse race? Is it Liverpool and Man City, or Leicester, Chelsea? Leicester have won the title in recent history. Could they do it again?
Well, never say never, but for me, no. I think it's these two teams. I think it's Man City or Liverpool. Chelsea have done brilliantly well. Frank Lampard, with the introduction of a lot of young players, they've got a nice blend there. Certainly a team for the future, that is. You know, very young side. But for me, it's the best team in the league are Man City, in my opinion. The most effective team in the league are Liverpool. And at the moment, it looks like it's theirs to lose.
I think it's always difficult, isn't it, to predict games between two of the top sides, especially when they come up against each other. Tim had a go at the weekend. This is what you had to say.
Oh, I think they'll keep the ball away from Liverpool. They'll get the ball to Sterling, De Bruyne, and Aguero, and it will be a football lesson. They will put manners on Liverpool tomorrow.
Football lesson, apparently. Well, Liverpool came out on top, 3-1. Did Man City teach Liverpool a football lesson?
I really need to get off the fence and start making bolder predictions.
Well, do you know what? There's three results. Liverpool could win, Man City could win, or there could be a draw.
Yeah, but
you chose the wrong way.
For me, it's fine margins. I still maintain. I always think Man City as a squad are the best squad in the league. I think they've got the best manager. But you can't take away from what Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool side are doing. They're so effective. But it's fine margins. That game, for me, the result was based on the first goal, and the first goal was crucial, and it was such a controversial moment in the game. Yes, Liverpool went on from there, the crowd got behind him, and it's very difficult. But I think Man City also played very well in that game, and we were looking at a very high-quality Premier League football match.
Don't disagree with that at all. Let's look at the two teams that the managers selected. Any surprises on the day? Anything shocking?
I think Angelino was a surprise to everyone coming in at left back for Man City. No, Mendy wasn't even on the bench. I think Pep said afterwards that he was carrying an injury and he didn't want to risk him. If you're ever going to risk a player, possibly it's for this one. So in my mind, I think Pep's made his mind up about Mendy, that he's not the player who he wants long term. I think he likes to have footballers in the team. That prediction I made there was that Man City will keep the ball away from Liverpool. I thought it was the best chance to win the football match, and I think they did. They did have more possession. I think they did keep the ball away, but the high press and the intensity of this Liverpool side makes it very, very difficult to do it for long periods. Formation that Pep selected, 4-2-3-1. It's exactly what he did last year at Anfield, and they drew 0-0 and could have won the game with that Mahrez penalty late on. You happy with that formation as well, or?
De Bruyne in this position, for instance, rather than a little bit deeper in midfield?
Happy. I mean, I think, man, we're crazy to stand here and start telling Pep Guardiola how to play football matches and how to have formations. He would say himself, formations don't win football matches. It's about principles of his side. And his side there, no matter where they play, they rotate positions, interchange positions, always fill in the right areas. I think he got everything right. I don't think he can do anything. In hindsight, it's always easier to say perhaps you should have made some changes there, but it's after the event. I thought they played very well, and if you ask Pep Guardiola today, would he have done anything different? His answer would be absolutely not.
Let's get into it, because what's the first thing you have to do when you go to Liverpool? Try and silence the crowd, start well, and actually City did start well, didn't they, the first 5 minutes?
Absolutely. I mean, up to the first goal, Pep would have said everything has gone correct. You know, they're playing the game. This is the first minute of the game. They're playing the game in Liverpool's final third. But just look at the intensity of Liverpool players, doubling up on every Man City player when they get the football. But we know Man City are very good playing under pressure. You know, so we just let this run. Just look at the intensity of the Liverpool players to try and get this ball back. And Man City do very, very well. They do very well to try and get themselves out of situations, and they continue to play the game in Liverpool's half.
They're always a threat, Liverpool, on the counter-attack, aren't they? Even when they're defending, you know, Salah and Firmino are in positions, aren't they? They're ready to go, aren't they? Yeah.
I mean, we see a lot of players. They normally, other teams who are not as brave, they would have Salah back in there, Mark in there, and they would go right back in there. They don't do that. They put themselves in the half positions. So it doesn't allow Man City to do this, squeeze up, because the last thing they want is a ball played over the top and then Mo Salah's in on a 1v1 through here. So they deal sneak positions where if it's terminal, they can get back in here. They can get back in here and help out. But what they do is put themselves in a very cute positions. That's the planning of the manager.
And it is all about trying to quieten the crowd by keeping the ball early on, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's about moving the ball, but they knew, Pep Guardiola would have told them, and these Man City players are not stupid. They know that this is probably the most difficult place to keep the football. You know, at Anfield, you know, the crowd are up, biggest game of the season, the whole world of football's eyes are on it. Very difficult, but Man City would have been delighted with this start. I mean, they haven't had stepped foot in their own half yet.
And I don't know whether this is normal for Jurgen Klopp. But everyone back for the corner as well. I mean, is that unusual, do you think, for Jurgen Klopp? Normally would keep one up, do you think?
Possibly. But I think that he knows their main threat, Man City's main threat is not going to come from a corner. You know, they've got Van Dijk in there who's going to be the dominant one, stays central in all them areas and looks to win the ball.
This is unusual. That's a collector's item, isn't it?
That is one. But that was...
He doesn't do that very often.
No.
Nervous, do you think? Slightly nervous, start the game?
No, I don't think he is. I think they've played enough big games. They're winners. I don't think any team was nervous here. I think they know their game plans. Liverpool was to know they're going to suffer out of possession. And Man City's was to frustrate Liverpool.
That's the outball, isn't it? Mo Salah out on the right-hand side, keeping his width. If they can get the switch. I think City generally, when the ball's down one side, they try and shift across, don't they? They do that a lot. And they leave that other side. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah now, they're the outball if they can get the switch.
Yeah, but Pep's happy with that. This is his game plan. He allows that. He knows if he leaves players out here, he's allowed to condense the pitch over this side. It comes back to hurt him late in the game when we see the Alexander switch for the first goal or the second goal. But it only hurt them because it was a fantastic ball in. But they play their game, Man City. They're not phased here.
They don't
care if they go back. You know, obviously they missed Ederson on the day. But that's not a bad pass there, is it, from Navas? You know, they totally dominated in the first few minutes of the game, and as you would expect for a team of the quality of Man City.
It was a case of 6 and 4 really for City, I thought. When you think with the 2 holding midfield players, so you've got 6 against, well, Liverpool's 3, because they want to keep their forwards high up the pitch really if they can. They don't really want to be doubling up with their fullbacks, do they? But it was so City tended to play 6 and 4 attacking, and Liverpool were more 7 defending and 3
I think
attacking.
especially with Gundogan and Rodri, that was a compliment to Liverpool and a slight tweak from Pep Guardiola. playing the two sitting midfield players in there, normally you would see, them squeezing on into here, at least one of them, and adding more to the Man City attack. So I think that was certainly a compliment to Jurgen Klopp and his Liverpool side.
What did you make of the battle down that left-hand side? Raheem Sterling and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I thought we did all right,
wasn't it?
I thought he did all right, Alexander-Arnold, especially in the first period. Second half, I thought Raheem Sterling took over that and made him look very isolated in the second half.
Sterling actually was probably City's best player.
Yeah, he was the one who was grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and really driving them on. Obviously, going back to his old club, took a lot of stick on the day. No love lost. As we've seen, recently, since they've met up in international duty, it spilled over, unfortunately, with some England players.
I think this is something with Liverpool, what Man City don't particularly do. You said they're quite happy going back City and keeping the ball. Liverpool are happy to bypass the midfield, aren't they? Try and hit that longer ball, if you like, down in for the likes of Mane and Salah in behind.
Where are their threats? Liverpool. If anyone talks about Liverpool Football Club, where are their threats? Their main threats are obviously the front three. So they get it forward as early as possible, and sometimes it's aimless. Rather than giving the ball away in dangerous areas in the final third, the last thing you want to do is to give the ball away in these areas of the pitch. So instead of playing around in here, tippy-tapping around there, what they do is they get it out of their feet and they smash it forward. And if they don't win the first one, invariably they'll win the second ball.
They're good at that, aren't they? Winning the second ball.
They are. They get themselves around it. Not like, I can use another example of Arsenal, who they're relentless in trying to play out. They can't get out. They get caught in their own final third time and time again, and they get punished.
How long have we been going now? Because Liverpool haven't really been at the half yet. This is the start. This is the start we're talking about that Man City made in the game.
They've not had a kick. And listen, they haven't created a chance yet. But Pep Guardiola, standing in that technical area, will be delighted the way they've started, because at the moment his heart rate will be so low. He'll be thinking, well, Liverpool have not caused us one problem yet. What we need is a goal. Get a goal, settle us down. Always the first goal is the most important goal in any football match.
Yeah. Delivery wasn't brilliant from De Bruyne. It wasn't perfect on the day. We know how good he is.
Another set piece.
They keep him pending. Yeah.
Keep him in there.
Again,
all Liverpool players are back. Can't hurt you when they're in that half of the field.
What's Mane doing? Is he just for the short one, maybe? For this one?
Yeah.
Possibly. Not really affecting the game there, is he?
Yeah. Not really. I think I would want Kevin De Bruyne in this area anyway. If I wanted one player, if you're going to do a short one, that would be my Kevin De Bruyne. But unfortunately, he's the one taking this one.
Yeah.
Half a chance round the back.
Stones wins the header. And again, long ball. Good press again from...
Pressing out.
City.
I think the way they set up Liverpool, Man City, look, they're not letting them out. And if in doubt, do that.
I was going to say, what about this? Because we see a lot of teams just try and play for the sake of playing, don't we? Virgil van Dijk has been recognised as the best centre-half in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Maybe even the world at the moment. Yeah. And takes no chances, does he?
No, it's decision-making. It's always crucial, and we know what an athlete he is and how good he is reading the game, but it's decision-making at the right time. Someone could have brought that down, and got robbed, but he weren't willing to mess around in that area.
This is again where I think that they perhaps overcover City. When I look at them and think they're all in there, that area of the pitch, and it leaves all this space for the other side. And Liverpool do it well, because they narrow off. Mane and Salah, who are their wide players, they narrow off, which leaves the space for Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But there's 19 players is there in there?
Yeah.
The space is all out here, isn't it? I just think they slightly overcover at times.
I just think their quickest player is this boy, Kyle Walker, so he knew he'd be able to give himself space and get out. Look at the calmness of the Man City team. Yeah. Don't look like a team who's nervous to me at this stage of the game.
And we talked about Liverpool hitting longer balls.
That's a pass.
That's a pass, isn't it, rather than a long ball?
That's a pass, and they're unlucky not to get in here with De Bruyne down that right-hand side.
Right, it's the big talking point. Let's stop it. The biggest talking point. Handball. Is it handball or not for you?
Penalty.
Yeah, I'd have given a penalty.
Handball, penalty, first game, perfect start. Liverpool not had a kick of the football. The only kicks they've had when they smashed it aimlessly up the field. Man City have started the game exactly how they wanted to start the game, and they get the penalty, what they deserved for their pressure and audacity to go to the team what's top of the league and start the way they started. Unfortunately, they don't get it.
You got some interesting thoughts on the handball, though.
Yeah. Well, I think because the first ricochet comes off of Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't hit Alexander-Arnold's arm and it runs through to Raheem Sterling,
or if Aguero just controls it, it's come off Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Aguero controls it and plays it to Sterling, yeah, and he scores.
And he scores. The goal's ruled out anyway because the accidental.
A hand has led to
the handball from Bernardo Silva. The ricochet doesn't matter if it's deliberate or not.
That's
if
right.
it hits an attacking player's arm, what leads to a goal, they rule the goal out.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have counted anyway. But where they could have benefited, if the referee sees it as a penalty. If he gives the penalty there, it doesn't get overturned.
No.
So I can understand why they haven't overturned it. They've stuck with the on.
It is subjective. It is subjective, isn't it? The distance. He's in a great position, Michael Oliver, as well. The distance that ball's travelled. What's that travelled? What we're saying? 7 yards, maybe 8 yards, possibly. Is his arm going up to move Aguero or manoeuvre Aguero? Is it going up to? It's not going up to stop the ball, is it?
I think it's going up to stop the ball.
Do you?
I think it's a natural reaction there just to stop the ball from going through. I think his arm, you can quite clearly see Trent's arm there.
Well, it's now. It's out. Yeah.
It's out. It's out. His other arm is tucked in the side. So
yeah,
for me, that is. They said on the day that was a natural silhouette. That it's not an unnatural position. We saw last week Dele Alli with his arm above his head where it hits his arm. So what is that one? That must be an unnatural position.
We've been saying that there's going to be an incident happening inside the box. It's going to go the other end and there's going to be a goal, and then now we've got a big talking point.
Yeah.
Now, do we blame City here for the reaction as well, to not getting the penalty? Because their reaction is to hound Michael Oliver.
Initially, yes. But I think once they break away, I don't think there's anything they can do to defend it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's play it on then. Let's play it on. So, now, Aguero. Straight away, hand. Who else? I'll tell you what, we'll take it. How many are saying handball? So we've got Pep Guardiola down here, hand. John Stones, hand. Fernandinho, hand. Carl Walker, hand. Is this De Bruyne? Handball. Aguero's adamant. He's now chasing Michael Oliver.
Yeah.
So that's about 6 or 7 of the City players. They're adamant it's a handball. But the reaction, Aguero's running faster to Michael Oliver than he is to get to the ball. Having said that, if we just pause it there now, okay, the ball's gone what now? It's travelled 70 yards. City are still, I mean, this is Rodri getting back into a back four position, but that's a back four, isn't it? Stones at right back now, Rodri filling in alongside Fernandinho, and Angelino at left back. They're still in a reasonable shape, aren't they?
They're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy with that, and I think Pep would be reasonably happy. I mean, all he's concentrating on is speaking to the full officials, screaming about a handball, because he knows it's going to go to the VAR, and he knows there's a good chance they will overturn that and give his team a penalty. But in the meantime, these 4 and 5 with the goalkeeper, Navas, has to make sure that ball doesn't end up in a net.
Could these do, I mean, Bernardo Silva's been on the floor. He's trying to get back. Kevin De Bruyne, can he do a bit more? Get him back? Gundogan's try him.
Can't affect it. These boys cannot affect it. Not there. No. I mean, they're 50 yards away from it. The pace what Liverpool attack with is just not physically possible that they can get back in.
They've got up the pitch quick, haven't they?
Yeah. But where's the goal scorer?
Well, the goal scorer.
Here he is.
Yeah, go on. Fabinho, yeah.
There he is. They could do more. I think what they end up doing is sinking a little bit too far in.
You think Gundogan?
They all go in
that's
and they
Carl
all
Walker.
sit back.
Carl Walker, you can understand, can't you? Carl Walker, he is in the back four. He's trying to get back. Gundogan and Rodri are the holding midfield place. You can understand them trying to be back as well. There is a lot of space though.
But this is Gundogan, who ends up back in the penalty area, and he's the one who toes it out for Fabinho to score.
Well, that is unusual for City as well, isn't it? To panic so much. If we see it, they actually win the ball now. So, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you about phases of play then. Is this now a different phase of play because City have touched the ball? Yeah. From the other end?
I think they are. I think it is because they would say that they've had a chance with Gundogan there to clear the play. I know what you're saying, because it was a handball there from
Trent Alexander.
Can it?
Because you just said it can't go off Bernardo Silva and end up in a goal. All right, it's happened in his own box, but it's 22 seconds from hitting his arm to the ball hitting the back of the net.
But this is subjective as well, isn't it? You know, surely they've looked at that, but they obviously deemed that Gundogan has an opportunity for the Man City defence to reset.
He actually does have an opportunity, doesn't he, to get that ball.
It's unusual for them not to find that pass. There was almost panic stations for him to toe this out. But after that, he gets hold of it here. That is a great strike for Fabinho. For me, he has to save it. Bravo has to do more.
Well, he's not set, really, is he? He's not set, is he?
No.
At all.
He's not set. I think his vision is blocked out a wee bit. He doesn't see it till late. It's a fantastic strike. I think we give the credit to Fabinho, and what a strike it was. You can understand that.
Yeah.
You can understand that as a manager. Everything has gone right for Pep at the start of this game, apart from that massive decision there. I think it's such a huge decision. And I keep saying, as a manager, you would always say the first goal is the most important goal of the game. And it really, really is, because it settles his side down. Liverpool then come panic stations with the home crowd, a little bit more gung-ho, leave space for Man City, and they do pop it around them and exploit them defensively. So I just think it was a massive turning point.
They're not a team to panic, though, City, are they, from going to goal behind? It's not something that they worry about particularly.
No, but obviously they felt like they've been dealt a poor hand there. I don't think they did panic after that. I thought they were still very good after that. But Liverpool are just relentless. You know, they can suffer without possession. They don't panic. You know, they know they've got one of the best defenders in Van Dijk in the league. They know they've got leaders like Henderson in the middle of the park. Fabinho's been outstanding. And they know they've got the three guys up front with the firepower, and they can score at any side, against any team at any time.
Absolutely. Did ask you to get in touch. You have been getting in touch. Keep them coming in. First one comes from LFC Hardline. Is Fabinho becoming our most important player?
Well, he's becoming very important. I think he's really adapted. It's taken him time to adapt to the Premier League. It's been excellent.
Well, he rested him, didn't he? Because he was booking away, wasn't he, from a suspension? So he rested him the week before this game, just to make sure he was available.
And he has picked up some injuries in the time he's been at Liverpool. I know that there was a couple of players who were offered to Jurgen Klopp. Frankie de Jong, a boy from Ajax, who ended up going to Barcelona, who's a more controlled, cultured player, or someone like Fabinho, who likes to play at that high tempo and break up the game a little bit more and gets around the pitch.
So it suits the Liverpool.
So he had one choice. He knows that it's an easy job. Well, I think we said it time and time again on this show. To scout for Jurgen Klopp is easy, because we know exactly how he wants to play. Harder to stop, but we know how he wants to play. We know what he likes from his midfield players, industrious midfield players who like to keep it simple, can move forward with the pace of the game, like Fabinho does. I think the guy's absolutely right there with the tweet. He is very important. Is he their most important? No. For me, one player is the most important, because if you miss Van Dijk, it's a different ball game.
Or any of the front three?
No. Van Dijk for me, period. I think they can cope with losing, because Mo Salah's injured at the moment. He picked up an ankle.
He played the game though, and he'd probably play the next one. You would think, would he?
Yeah, but he's missing the Egypt games, so he's pulling out of the international squad, so he's got a tweak there. I think you can cope with losing one. You want to lose all three, obviously, but one player, Virgil van Dijk. If Virgil van Dijk would have gone to Man City when he was available, we might as well shut up shop.
Fullbacks? What about the fullbacks? How important they've been to Liverpool.
Listen, we could talk about it all day, but for me, there's only one player. If you lose Van Dijk, who are you going to bring in? Matip and Lovren. We've seen how they performed previously.
Joe
Gomez or any of them. They're not Virgil van Dijk. This boy is a Rolls Royce of a footballer. Outstanding. He is the difference. Him and Alisson have made all the difference. Them two players they signed were massive to them being leading in this Premier League now.
Keep the tweets coming in. You've got Tim irate anyway. Right, let's get you said the first goal is important. What about the second goal of a game? Another long build-up to it, but it came on the period of City having another decent spell, or not?
Yeah, like you said, you don't panic, and Liverpool and Man City do not panic. I mean, they win the ball back, they try and keep it as best they can. Look at the intensity of Liverpool closing down again, though. That is poor for Bernardo Silva. You expect more from him.
He's got to hold that.
Yeah, you expect more from him.
Look at the challenge
but they've
again,
got the ball again. Now they're probing again. They're trying to open up Liverpool, get the ball out to Raheem Sterling. Alexander-Arnold gives the foul away. The crowd are up because that's Raheem Sterling. Took a lot of stick on the day, but always willing to receive that ball in tight areas and take on his fullback. Listen, it was no panic. They stick to the game plan. Pep always say to them, this is the plan, you stick to it, no matter what's happening going on around you. And that was an intense atmosphere. And that's the way they did. They went about it.
Got to take your chances when they come along as well, because City did create chances. All right, this is a set piece, but we know how good De Bruyne is from this type of situation. I think it's Raheem Sterling who gets his head on it.
If you hold it there, I mean, look at the guys, look. 3, 4 back here. Okay? They're not going to get countered, are they? It's impossible for them to get countered there. So it looks like they've stopped the counter-attack. If we play it on, this is a great... I mean, nothing...
I'll play this... Do you know what? I'll play this slowly. Because the question mark, I suppose, hang on, is there an offside when that ball leaves his foot? I don't think Sterling is.
No, because there's Sterling.
There's Sterling. So I don't think he's offside. And he is the one that heads it.
Yeah. He just mistimes his header. It's unusual for Raheem.
It's a big chance, isn't it?
It's a massive chance when you've been getting stick from them from word go. You've gone a goal behind very controversially, and that would have silenced that whole of that Liverpool crowd. So they're in good shape.
But again, they're back to their 4-2-3-1. There's the press. They've actually both gone on that occasion.
And we talked about...
Happy to go long.
Yeah.
Pick up the second balls.
Yeah.
Now, again... Is there a case of perhaps over-covering again from City? I've sort of talked about it a few times already. Everyone in that area of the pitch again, space for Robertson, left back, if they can get the switch.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. If you stop it there.
Is it?
Because what you're asking Kyle Walker to start coming out here.
Well, no, not all that way.
But even if he leaves him, then Mane would just go in here, just make them runs in there, and he'll cause all sorts of problems.
No, I understand Kyle Walker wanting to go in because you don't want to leave Mane free. But what I would say is Bernardo Silva maybe has to be a bit more aware of it. The goal actually comes from him making a poor decision. And he's in the area where he's goal side of Robertson, in a defensive position. He can see that. I would say more Bernardo Silva rather than Kyle Walker. Anyway, got the ball back. They make the pitch big, don't they? I mean, when they win the ball, look how big the pitch is now. That is, pretty good, isn't it? The shape of the team. You goalkeeper. That's how big the pitch has made it now. From all of a sudden, they were, what was it, 10 seconds ago?
Yeah.
They were all tight, weren't they, in that little area of the pitch.
Yeah.
Now, how big, as soon as they win it, can we stretch it?
Yeah. Well, that's the game plan of Pep Guardiola, make the pitch as small as possible.
Without the ball.
Without the ball. When you've got possession of the ball, now that's poor. When you've got possession of the ball, just open up the pitch.
He's still got his arm around the referee about the first decision.
Exactly. Feels aggrieved. But his players are still playing the same way. I don't think that they're letting that affect them. I think they're still playing to the game plan, which is absolutely right. Still the press. In goes Aguero.
Yeah.
Aimlessly kicked forward, win the second ball.
They do win the second ball as well. They've won the ball back now. Can they keep it? Give it away again? They're giving it away a bit more than we'd probably expect from winning the ball back.
But you're still happy, aren't you? If you're Man City at the moment, you're still happy that you haven't been opened up only from one controversial.
Yeah, Klopp's not happy about something. I'm not sure whether it was Salah's position on that occasion or not. I mean, it's a very defined 4-3-3 from Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, Fabinho, because we talk about him being a holding midfield player. Yes, he is, because he's the middle one. But he is given the licence to push on when he wants to as well, doesn't he? Because they've got enough energy to get back, and Van Alden will sit in, and Henderson can do it as well. I mean, it's a very defined 4-3-3, though.
That's why he has these players. Look,
the ones who can run.
What have they all got in abundance?
Well, they can run.
Energy.
Yeah.
Energy, because they have to go here, they have to come out here and support, they have to go out there, they have to cover the whole of the ground, trying to affect and trying to block Man City. Not only this team who they're playing against here, whoever they play against, the energy, and as you quite rightly say, they're not afraid to push on here, and what they will do is run as quickly this way, backwards towards their own goal to help out their defence as they do running forward. That is an all-energy team and midfield.
Well, I was going to say, it's not just the midfield that's the energy, is it? It is the whole team. You couldn't play for Liverpool if you couldn't run.
No, it's all about that. There's no change. They can't change the way they play.
Whereas you talked earlier about Frankie de Jong, for instance, in midfield. He could play in that City team.
Yeah.
No problem at all. He'd fit into that City team brilliantly, but might not fit into the Liverpool
team.
He
wouldn't be able to do, if we just clear it there, Frankie de Jong wouldn't be able to do, he would be now there.
Yeah.
And he does brilliantly at it, but he will be in that sitting midfield player, just in front, a number 6, what we call it.
Like City have had, Fernandinho's played there, Rodri's played
and he would dictate the tempo of the game, but he wouldn't be able to play at a very high energy.
Yeah. Do you like this?
Yeah, I like it. Do you know why I like it? Because he takes Mane back. He's taking people back all of the time. So this run from Kyle Walker, I have no problem with whatsoever.
Do you like the run inside though? Because Sterling's making the same run. Could he go round him?
Yeah, he could possibly come out here and open up. Then you're opening up Robertson. You know, you're alerting him to the ball. Maybe opening up some space here. So you're right. It's a good run forward. Yeah. I think Pep's happy that there's 2 runs rather than none. You know, he'd be happier with that there is some movement going forward. But
this is where I say about perhaps over-covered again, and I don't think Kyle Walker can do anything about it again, because you talked, is it Kyle Walker that has to come out? You said, does it Kyle Walker has to come out here? Well, no, I don't think so at all, because I think he's doing the right thing by marking Mane. I just think Bernardo Silva now is in a bad position, and he makes a bad choice, because I don't see how that ball gets here to Van Dijk, really, where Trent Alexander-Arnold is now. His options, Trent Alexander-Arnold are here, and actually, I'm not sure many of us would have picked the pass that he actually chooses, which is this one. I don't think many would have said that's where he's going to be going. But Bernardo Silva's on the front foot. Angelino's on the front foot as well. Just keep an eye on Angelino as well, his position. He just vacates that back four very slightly.
Well, it's unnecessary. The Angelino one going in there because he hit it. But who can hit a ball 50 yards off their wrong foot? So what Bernardo is thinking there, he's thinking, well, he's never going to be able to hit. He's never going to hit that one across there with his left foot. He's not capable of doing it. Do you know what?
Well, he is.
He is.
Yeah, no, he is.
He is.
Yeah, well, he is. He's quality, yeah. But even here, back four still in shape.
Yeah.
You think not too bad. I mean, Fernandinho perhaps is a couple of yards off his man. That's Firmino, isn't it?
Well, he should be in there, shouldn't he? Angelino should be inside of Salah.
Yeah,
there.
so he's in a bad position.
He should be in that position. The reason he's not is because earlier on in the move, we saw him trying to take a few steps forward. Now they break so quickly, such a great ball over from Trent into Robertson, and now he's playing catch up. And the pace of the delivery and the pace of Mo Salah running forward, it's impossible to get back in the danger area, which is obviously there. Now for me, I think a lot of overcritical people on this. I think this is undefendable. I think, of course, you can defend it. We can look at every goal and say, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. I think we have to give the quality for Robertson on his cross and his finish of Mo Salah. It was exquisite. The delivery was brilliant.
I'm just going to put a circle there, because that's where the ball lands. Now, from there, would you say Bravo could come or not come? It's an outswinger.
No, the ball's too good. From Robertson, the ball has got too much pace on it. Yeah. It's impossible for it
to I agree.
And Mo Salah's lucky that this ball bounces up towards his head. Yeah. Because otherwise he has to take a touch. But it's at the right height and he just swoops down and he's a great finish.
Do you know what? I'm going to do this slowly. Fernandinho is an inch away, isn't he, from getting it?
Yeah.
Actually, Klopp celebrates this one a little bit more. First one he didn't celebrate because of the VAR. He said, I couldn't. Yeah. Pep can't believe it. He's probably off to see the referee again.
Yeah.
But it's the perfect start, isn't it, for Liverpool? And second goal, does that then kill the game, do you think?
Perfect start, but after this, I mean, we've watched long periods here, some long clips, because it was right to watch it. Because who's had the better of the game? Mm-hmm. Who's had the better of the game, in your opinion?
City, probably.
City have had the better. They probably had the better chances, and they're 2-0 down. Mm-hmm. That is football at the highest level. You get punished. In this Premier League, when you've got a team as the quality of Liverpool, you make mistakes, or you switch off, or things don't go your way, don't complain about it, just get on with it, because the game will be away from you in a heartbeat, and that's what's happened here.
Yeah. Second half, they're 2-0 down, Man City. What's Pep said to them at half-time?
I think Pep would have told them to continue playing the same way. The chances will come. Obviously, the next goal is going to be crucial. 3-0 is a long way back. You score the next goal, normally one brings two. I was watching the game thinking, if they can score, Man City,
they're in it.
They're in it. Yeah. They're in the game. We know, we've been there. 2-0 down, very dubious lead. The momentum normally changes when the opposition score. Liverpool score again, game over, in my opinion, even against a team like Man City, because they are so resolute. They've got players off the bench who can come on and do similar jobs. They are solid defensively. If you score against Liverpool, you're going to have to work very, very hard to get back in the game.
So let's get straight to it then. Second half, we're expecting a reaction now, aren't we, from City? We're expecting them a fast start, get at Liverpool. And I think we probably did see that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think they did anything wrong. I mean, we keep harping back to it, and it is fine margins, but the press is still on. Looking to win the ball back, clear the ball at the right times. That's what they do. Get round the second ball, get a throw on, try and get your passing game going again, because that's what Pep obviously impresses upon.
Saw the Aguero a little bit off it. I mean, it wasn't at his best, was he, Sergio Aguero? He's got a poor record at Anfield.
He has, yeah. He wasn't at his best, but you'd always have him, and always backed him to score, no matter, even though he's got a poor record at Anfield. Don't know what it is.
No.
I mean, you have these grounds where I certainly had them where I couldn't play well at a ground.
I have my fair share as well.
I always hated to go there, but he scores everywhere. He scored all over the world. So to not have a very good record at Anfield is very unusual. But here they go again.
Same shape.
Possession game. Yeah, Liverpool haven't got to change anything, have they? I mean, they haven't played particularly well, and I think Jurgen would have been saying it. Now, this boy Raheem Sterling grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half, and he was saying to them, "Give me the ball, because I fancy my chances against Trent."
Yeah.
And you'd have to say, over the period of 90 minutes, he got the better of Alexander-Arnold.
I'll tell you what they did do slightly, Liverpool. They went 4-4-1-1, didn't they?
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp talked about it. So back four, midfield four, and then Firmino off Salah.
Yeah.
If I said to you, who's the worst defender in that Liverpool team, you'd probably say
The one highest up.
Mo Salah, wouldn't you?
So keep him out of the way.
So exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Because
he did it on purpose, didn't he?
Yeah, Firmino is the most reliable, cleverest footballer in that Liverpool side. I think he's the brains. He knows both attacking and defensively. He knows when he has to fill up.
He plays
he's
for the team,
responsible.
doesn't he?
Yeah,
There's not
very
one for
much.
himself, is he?
Very much. And look, Mo gets so many sweets going forward. He realises at times he has to put a shift in coming back the way.
Yeah.
And he does it. But he doesn't want to do it.
No.
Whereas Firmino realises it's part of his job and he wants to do it. And Salah is such a threat with the pace. He's quicker. So if you are on a counter-attack and you hit a ball forward, because invariably they're 1v1 left at the back, Mo Salah is going to hurt him.
Yeah, and he's ready, isn't he? He's ready to go. As soon as they win the ball back,
here he goes.
He's off. From there, we're thinking, no chance, is there? How are they going to score a goal? I'm looking at that thinking...
One reason why they're going to score a goal.
What? Not
in my opinion. Body shape all wrong.
Yeah.
This ball... If that was Ederson in goal, I guarantee you it ends up in his hands. He watches it.
Okay.
Now, another player who doesn't cover himself in glory is Kyle Walker.
I actually put more blame at the feet of Kyle Walker, personally. I mean, it's a good cross from Henderson.
It's a great cross. I mean,
Bravo should
give
do
nothing
better.
away. It's a good pace.
Bravo
should come and collect it.
But when it's at this point here, there's no way that should be an issue, really.
No.
You see him, his body shape perhaps a little bit closed, maybe should be opened up a little bit more to see him, but he sees him. It's not like he doesn't see him. This is the overcovering I'm talking about. I think he overcovers a little bit here, Kyle Walker. Doesn't even know he's there now. He's lost him completely. And Bravo should do better with the save as well.
Yeah. For the save, but
he gets a good
headed,
hand on it.
I mean, that's a 6-yard box. He's inside the 6-yard box. He's probably 4 yards from goal. That ball cannot come over your heads 4 yards from goal without the goalkeeper going and take it. He hasn't even got a jump. If he lifts his arms in the air, he's probably 8 foot. And he just collects that, and then they send him on the attack.
Yeah.
That is a killer. End of game, in my opinion, even against Man City.
And even though they kept pushing as well, City, as well, you still think that was end of game?
End of game, that was a momentum killer. I think there was a lot of time wasting after that from Liverpool. Not time wasting in a nasty way. Kept the ball, game management, just killed the time.
Got another tweet. Fintellini, what's going on at City? Why didn't they purchase any centre-backs in the summer? The man on the street knew that that's their weakness before the season started. Well, it is a good question, actually. Why didn't he sign a centre-back? Company was leaving. All right, he's been a bit unfortunate. Laporte's picked up a long-term injury, but he went into the season with 3 centre-backs. Otamendi, Stones and Laporte. That's one short, isn't it?
You would say it was. Yeah, I think that Pep always pulls a rabbit out of a hat. Someone else. He probably felt that Ferrandino could step in there and do that job without him going to the transfer market. In hindsight, he probably would have gone into the market and bought someone in. Let's not forget their most successful times they have had. Fabian Delph, over recent years, playing at left back. No one thought he was a left back. Zinchenko is probably their best left back they've got. He was from the academy. You know, they paid money, £2 million buying him through. You've got Otamendi, who no one wants to put their hand up for. Yeah, he's played a large portion of their games. John Stones gets nothing but criticism. But they've won the Premier League on numerous occasions.
Kyle Walker can't get in the England team.
Kyle Walker, you would say, is probably arguably their best defender in there, or the most high profile out of the ones we're seeing there at the moment. Yes, in hindsight, he should have gone and got someone. I think they should have got Van Dijk when he was available. I think Jurgen Klopp obviously done a great job on Van Dijk when he was at Southampton. We know there was an illegal approach in there, you know, whatever happened, he got in there first, and they made sure that he was going to sign for Liverpool. If Man City would have got him, cool.
What about Maguire, Harry Maguire?
Yeah,
there was talk in the summer about him having a choice, Man City or United and City.
I mean, Vincent Kompany's a massive miss, not only from what he gives you on the pitch,
I was about to say,
in the
leadership, that's what I'm talking about. And Harry Maguire had the armband for United at the weekend. Has he
been great at Manchester United? I'm not sure he has.
Would he be a more natural fit, though, for
he's someone who's available. It'd be £70 million. I'm sure there would have been someone else out there who could have come in there and done a job. As I say, he always finds a solution, Pep Guardiola. And you'd have to say he hasn't found a solution for them to win the league at this stage. I still wouldn't write them off.
Okay. They did get back in it, City. They got a goal. Just shows that, you know, it wasn't dead. I know even at 3-0, you're thinking, probably Liverpool now. Well, if there's anyone in control.
If there's anyone who can come back, it's possibly Man City.
I bet Liverpool fans were thinking when this went in, and having seen some of the other chances that they created as well, they would have thought, well, this is a team that can get back in it.
But it's no panic, is there, for me? Even look at their build-up play. I mean, everything comes down the left-hand side.
He's brought Milner on at this stage, a bit of extra energy. He's brought Milner on. Mane now on the right-hand side. Eventually, he actually brings on Gomez, doesn't he? Gomez plays right back, Alexander-Arnold. Yeah,
this boy was really suffering, Alexander-Arnold, at this stage. I mean, Raheem had absolutely ripped into shreds. And now Angelino has pushed on another 10 yards. He took a lot of criticism, Angelino. I thought he did very, very well late on in the game. Yes, they set back and they let Man City come on him, but his deliveries from the left side were not bad, and the positions he was taking up. I thought that was a foul initially, but he whips a great ball across there, and what a finish that is from Bernardo Silva.
Klopp's absolutely furious here. He's trying to get a sub on. He was trying to get Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain onto the pitch and didn't quite get him on. But you're still thinking at this stage now that there was a slight chance for City.
Well, you do. As a manager, you always think on the negative side. You know, you never think that the game's won. And you're always thinking, especially when you look at the quality in offensive areas all over the pitch that Man City possess, that there's a chance they can come back in. Aguero misses a chance about 2 minutes after this when he comes across the 6-yard box, and he could have toe poked it in.
Yeah, he was very close to it, wasn't he?
Yeah, if that scores, and then it is a game changer.
Don't often see Jurgen Klopp look tired, do you? He looked a bit drained, didn't he, after the game? Pep Guardiola, interestingly, saying it's one of the best games he's seen his team play. He just got beat 3-1, and he's saying, brilliant. Performance was top draw. You actually think it was a good performance as well? I thought.
I do.
Well,
I don't think there's any agenda. Normally there's an agenda there with Pep, and he's sending the message out to his players. But it was a positive message. I think if he was watching it again like we've watched it today, I think he would say there's not a lot wrong. It's just fine margins. Decisions change the game. The first goal we already talked about. Whether it's right or whether it's wrong, you have to come back from that. They stuck to the game plan. They didn't take their chances on the day, or all of the chances what they had. We had two-headed chances from free kicks very early on in the game. Would have put them back in it. Aguero, it wasn't his day like it has many times there at Anfield. But overall, you'd have to say it was a positive performance. We're blessed to see two of the best managers in the Premier League.
Well, two of the best teams that we've seen as well.
Pep, absolutely. It was a treat. It was a joy, and it's a real great... for the English Premier League.
Shape up, well, actually, in terms of the numbers, Man City dominated, didn't they? Had more shots in both the first and the second half, had more crosses in both of the halves, more passes. Interestingly, we talked about Liverpool playing long. They did play longer than City did. Look at the touches in the opposition box in the second half. City had 32 compared to Liverpool's 10. Possession went up in the second period. Distance covered is quite similar, and pretty much as we'd expect as well. Liverpool have...
The season last year, how close they were, a point between the two of them is what that game looked like there. But Liverpool, the momentum is with them. The 9 points between them and Man City now is huge, and it's theirs to lose. I think they got the manager and the players, as long as they stay healthy and they keep their best players like Van Dijk fit, they'll win the league.
What are the dangers to Liverpool to winning the league?
Losing players.
Losing
players like Van Dijk, like Mo Salah, Firmino, who's huge.
What about these next six as well, by the way?
Yeah, they're all winnable.
If we have a look at those, I mean, Cities are far more difficult than Liverpool's in terms of the next six. So imagine 6 weeks' time, get to Boxing Day, Liverpool could be even stretching that lead.
I mean, wouldn't be surprised if both teams won all of those games we're looking at on the screen, because they did that. They've done it last season, and why can't they go on and do it again? I think Man City will get a few players back to fitness who they missed. Need the goalie back as soon as possible. But I think at the end of them 6 games, they'll have maximum points, both teams.
Club World Cup, will that get in the way of
possibly
Liverpool a little bit as well?
They're going out to Qatar, great place to go. You know, they're going to obviously, it could be a inconvenience, but how bad?
Well, yeah, exactly. We have got one more tweet. Let's have a look. Who's it come from? Aaron Jacko says, is Pep scared of Anfield and Klopp? Actually, I don't suppose he's scared, but
I don't think he's scared.
Klopp has got a positive record against Pep, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Pep's scared of him at all, but I think he shows him a lot of respect. And he doesn't normally show as much respect. We talked about the two sitting midfield players, Gundogan and Rodri in there. I think that is showing respect to Liverpool. He normally never changes for anyone. So that was an indication that he gives them that respect, and he gives what they deserve. They've earned that over the period of time. Jurgen Klopp is a top manager, we said that. And the recruitment at that club, Liverpool, is fantastic.